What's up, guys? Been a minute since I last uploaded a video on the Ranger. I've been super busy, haven't had any time to work on it other than doing a couple things. Got front shock mounts and a couple tubes added to the engine cage. Yeah, not a lot of time to work on it, so definitely not time to post videos about it, but gonna have some time to start working on it again. Also wanted to point out, I did make it to Tough Trucks. It just wasn't in my Ranger. As you can see, it's not done, but rather my dad's 6100 on the back right there. I got some videos of it for you guys. Here it is. Kind of going to be stripping it right now and sending the truck to my powder coater so that way I can get the inside of the cab bead blasted. Get rid of all the old headliner glue as well as foam. And then after that, gonna start assembling, get the thing running, and it won't be taken apart again. But things are gonna start happening. So the front shock mounts I went back to my original plan of running that tube. I really didn't like it since it dives into the A-pillar. I wanted something else, maybe the shock on the other side with tubes coming from the windshield bars, but none of that was gonna work. I think this actually looks kind of sick. I made about 3 different other style shock mounts and none of it looked good. None of it really worked. So this is the final product. This ended up good. Getting 19 inches bumped and strapped. Well, it's not strapped yet, but I will be able to have 19 inches in the front. So that is plenty of travel with equal length I-beams. I know guys get more, but good enough for me. To gusset this outer tube, I went from this straight shot tube, added on, and then from here going down to the frame and just making my triangles. I'm gonna do one more tube coming from this junction on the frame, and then it's gonna land right in here. That'll tie everything in, and then eventually I'm trying to think of like what's going to happen in the future, and eventually I want to do a cam on the motor. So I don't want a straight X in the center. I'm going to do a V, either from the top down or the bottom down. I don't really know which way yet, but gonna think about it. What I'm gonna do for the top needs to correlate with what I do there, so probably from the corners up, and then maybe some tubes kicking around the engine cage that I can have as removable. Don't think the bump stops are in the last video. Got some new King's New style bump stops and got those all welded out. And yeah, not a whole lot of progress happened on the rear. Actually, nothing, I don't think. I'm switching the coilovers I had on the rear because they have these adjustable reservoirs, and the new ones I just bought don't. So the new ones, well, they're both new shocks, but the ones without the adjusters are gonna go in the back since I got a bypass. And then that way the front has some adjustability, not much, but I'll at least be able to dampen and stiffen the shocks a little bit. But yeah, once I get this thing sandblasted, do a little bit more welding in the front, painting, mount the coolers, I'm gonna just start throwing parts at it and getting it assembled, getting it running, and then hopefully it all goes relatively smooth from here. But just wanted to get an update video. It's been a while for anyone that actually watches these videos or cares, but starting to look like a truck. It's finally a roller that can turn, can't stop or move on its own, but it's getting there. The bump zone I have is pretty much dead flat, so not a ton of up travel in the rear, but my beam pivot is about 7 inches off the floor. You really don't want to be any lower than that. Some guys do it, but I don't want to be dragging in 2-track. Then the rear is about 10. But honestly, I'm happy with the bump travel I've got. For a stock frame, I can always cut it out. I just have to redo shock mounts, but not gonna do any of that, not necessarily necessary whatsoever, but just gonna get this thing done and go enjoy it. And that's it for this video. But if you like the videos I'm making, or if you actually want to see more, I know guys have been reaching out to me, where's all the videos, but if you like the videos, like it, subscribe, share it. I haven't been very motivated to make videos, so let me know if you like them. Gonna try out this spring rate, which is 350 over 450, just springs I had laying around. That's for the rear, and then for the front, doing 300 over 300. I had those laying around, and I don't want it to be too light, so ordered some tender springs that were 300 as well. See how that works, if it needs to be lighter or harder. Find out. And then switching the rod ends right now. Basically, all you got to do is heat the rod end up enough with a blowtorch to melt the Loctite. Once the Loctite's melted, twist it off, but you got to have a shaft clamp. Mine I have is from All German Auto. They make a couple cool tools like this. Not All German Motorsports, not Auto. But they make some handy tools. Just goes in your vise. Holds your shaft from spinning while you're getting your rod end off. Without that, it's impossible. But yeah, gonna finish this thing up.